The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a show for 80s babies who were 90s kids. If you were a No Limit soldier, then this is your show. If you believe that Cash Money is not an army but was a Navy, this is the show for you. If you and your friends ever tried to sing a song written by Escape, In Vogue, Shy, or Voiced Men at a talent show during middle school, this is your show. The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a bunch of 80s babies talking about all the songs and things that we loved when we were kids and teenagers. So if you went to the skating rink and you were at a lock-in, this is the show for you. If you think that Tevin Campbell was the original Prince of R&B, this is the show for you. If you don't understand the conflict between Monica and Brandy, but you're kind of on Monica's side and understand why Brandy got punched, this is the show for you. Make sure that you tune in, subscribe, click the little subscribe link. We're here. We're going to talk about all things 90s music. This is the show for you.
How y'all doing? How are y'all? You know, we're going to jump right on in here and get it started. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes.
So it's been about a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because that last episode was our femininity. Energy.
Femininity.
You know,
energy.
I still can't say that word.
It's okay. That's why you have friends. I got your back.
Right.
You know, where you fall short, I pick it right up.
Boop, boop.
You know what I'm saying? I got you.
No, for real. So it's been a minute because work been working.
Yes.
Life been lifing.
Yes.
And we just been busy.
Busy, yeah.
In
a good way. In a good way. Work has been work. Work is sometimes stressful for us.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, who are just tuning in, we are school psychologists by day, by night. We are
podcast superheroes. We're superheroes.
Exactly. Where's my cape? It's
Where's
invisible.
my cape?
It's there. It's there. We do it all.
I've never seen Rhea and Superman in the same room.
Right. Exactly. But we take on many hats. But yeah, we've been busy.
We just been busy.
Yeah, for sure. One of the great things that just happened with me and my family, we went to New York. We had some family time, but we also got to party and kick it, seeing SZA in New York at Madison Square Gardens. That was amazing time.
That was a treat.
It really was. It was everything that I needed, like a booster. But as you can see, I'm not sure you can see my eyes. I'm drained right now just because of work, being a mommy. You know what I'm saying? Like
mommy, motherhood, regardless on what age, don't fall for it. It's still a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of energy you have to put into it, and it almost like you have to be 2 steps ahead
at all
because
times.
we have teenagers and they think they smart, but they not really smart. But you know, they trying to.
Teenagers be the dumbest kids.
Man, smart intellectually, like
but the
book smart.
Kids. Like you be like, you really thought you was gonna get that past me.
You know, and sometimes you might catch me when I'm sleeping. You might get it, but you know, sometimes putting those pieces together, they don't think it through all the time.
They
but
never do.
But yeah, just balancing all of that stuff, and then you know, like just life, yeah. But how have you been? What's your emoji?
Girl,
I don't even feel like I've seen my friend. Like this is a big thing. Like we talk all the time. Right, that's so crazy.
Nothing. So this
friend,
is
I miss you.
I miss you too. I haven't seen her or nothing.
Yes.
You know, she abandoned me.
I did not. Not that.
Playing, but I haven't seen. I feel like I haven't seen you or nothing.
Yeah.
But okay, y'all. I think we just started talking to y'all because you know we feel like y'all right here.
Yeah.
But I'm Rhea and this is Chloe, as y'all know,
y'all.
and this is Womanology podcast.
Yeah.
You know we got to get the the housekeeping stuff.
Exactly.
But my emoji.
Yes. What's your emoji? How are you feeling?
Normally I say cool. Normally I say chill. I'm cold.
Yes. You want to have this heater oscillate? Oh, it is oscillating. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I think okay. Let me be for real. No, you know the dancing lady and the cartwheel. I kind of feel that way, and the reason why is because spring break is in 2 weeks.
Oh, awesome! This
When
is
is
my
y'all?
last week. Ours starts on the 17th.
Okay, so yours start on the 17th.
Yeah.
Okay, so spring break for me is in 2 weeks, so that's the last week of March. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
Because I get to like rest, relax, and chill and things like that. And then Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
that's
for
why
sure.
I'm flipping and dancing.
Exactly. And just now, my caseload, all my heavy hitters are out the way, so now I can breathe easier.
Yes.
With just evaluating kids with like specific learning disabilities. Those are very easy for me to go through.
And young child developmental
yes.
delays.
I did all of mine already. I had
did?
a teacher who went on maternity leave, and at the end of January, she moved all of them up. So all of them are done. Thank you, Lord.
So I got some developmental delays coming, but that's all I got coming. Like my March now is so cool.
Okay, good.
Like it's so like smooth sailing.
Good.
So I'm happy about that. But February, I don't know what they was trying to do to us.
Yeah,
Man.
get their money's worth. You know. Get their money's worth up out of you.
Exactly. What y'all do again? Here, get some more work.
Exactly. Here's another case for you.
What's your emoji for today?
Ooh, my emoji, I'm freezing, so I'm an ice cube. So, love my family. Y'all have heard about them for those who have been here from the start. But very close to my family. And my niece, she has her own business, a clothing brand called 1035. This is a part of her STL from the Lou for 314 Day. So we were outside by the stadium taking pictures with no coats, just these shirts, pants. Yes, and it was cold. But, you know, it won't show in the pictures because we are professionals. You know what I'm saying? So, but, yeah, I'm an ice cube. Yes, I'm freezing. So in the car, I'm like, let me play some music. Let me get amped. So I'm feeling good. I'm just not, I just need to thaw out.
That's really what it is. You showing it. Can't nobody tell. Like I said, you look beautiful.
Thank you, friend. But yeah, I'm an ice cube.
Friend. Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but I follow Blueface and Chris Shine, right?
So you actually follow them?
Well, not like on IG, but I do.
You pay attention to their antics.
And I did watch the TV show on YouTube.
They got a TV show?
Oh my gosh, SOLC Network.
They making money off being dysfunctional.
Interesting. And so, like I said, I see their content. That's probably a better word rather than follow them because I don't follow neither one on social media. But I see their content that's posted on the Shade Room, and I see their content that's posted on Hollywood Unlocked. And like I said, I saw some of their shows on YouTube. Well, their show, not some of their shows. So they have a reality show called Blueface for Love or Love for Chris Shine, something silly, like some love and hip hop shit, whatever. Anyway, they got that right, and so I was watching it, and I was like, this can't be true. Like y'all not.
Y'all for play.
That's not for real, right? So I watched the episode, and I was like, damn, why you talk to her like that? And then the way, but here's the thing though, it's kind of tricky because he doesn't yell at her. He's not raising his voice at her. He just be like, you stupid as fuck. Like, I'm just like, why you talk to her?
And how does she respond?
So the way she responds is in two ways. So it's the way that we see on social media, you know, big reactions, you know, fighting, whatever. And then she'll be like, well, why you say that, babe? And then she says a lot of why you say that, babe, or why you say that, daddy. She used daddy a lot. Why you say that, daddy? And so he'll give her a reason or something like that. And I'll be like, she just has no idea that this is not how someone who you are romantically involved with is supposed to treat you or talk to you like that. And then another reason what I've noticed is because I went down like a little rabbit hole. He's like older than her. Like she's like 22 and I think he's like 26.
Okay.
And so like if you remember, or I don't know if you guys remember, when this whole little thing, Blueface thing, whatever started, I think she was like 20.
Okay.
And then, of course, he was probably like 24, 25. So, I mean, you already have an advantage over her by being the older male.
Exactly.
Even though you're younger. You know, you're young, but you still have an advantage.
Right. And she's at a very impressionable age. So, the little bit that I do know about them is just from what I see very quickly within a few seconds on social media.
Room,
but one of the things that I guess struck me were them showing how she looked like as a teenager to how she looks now. Like she was an athlete athlete, gorgeous girl.
Gorgeous girl.
And like now you missing teeth, you looking buck wild crazy. Like what the fuck happened to you? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So with you even saying that she calls him daddy, now we all do that, calling people poppy or daddy or whatever. Cute little things. But knowing that they're so dysfunctional, I wonder if she is carrying over trauma with her own father and having him step into that role for her.
It could be that trauma, but it could be trauma, you know, like daddy issues or whatever like that. But she always refers to him as daddy. Like she just says like, I watched the interview with just her, not Blueface, on Know For Sure podcast. Okay. And so she always say like, daddy did this daddy shirt, daddy got to take me here, daddy got to take me there. Like she always refers to him that way. Crazy. And he's not in the room. Well, you know what? At that podcast interview, he may have been behind the camera. He might have been in the room because they're always together. And then I think to myself, like, and I'm not trying to say that couples can be together all the time. Yeah. And I understand that some couples are literally best friends, so you know they are together all the time. But I feel like, is he together to watch over her, like to, what's the word, control what she's doing?
Interesting.
So I just wonder about that. Like, so first we just named two things that we know toxic relationships. Yeah. Is that he's controlling. Yes. He talks to her in a derogatory manner. And then we already mentioned that the fighting. She fights him, but he fights her.
I was just about to say, they fight each other.
They fight each other. But I think a lot of time after
and not just with words, like with, like...
Yes. I think it's physically reactionary. I mean, not reactionary. I think it's reactional. That's the word. That they fight each other. Like he says something and she probably ain't quick with it, so she probably bop him. Or the other, or
baby, I'm not fighting you. And I feel like this is, I guess, a candid moment of just honesty. Like I have been known to put my hands on people. That's not a good thing. But as a youngster, because you're not thinking things through. And then I'm little, so I got this Napoleon complex. I feel like I'm big and I'm not. So it's a lot of things where like someone would say something to me, I would get upset, and my first response would be to like hit somebody. I know now that that's not right. I'm in my 30s. I'm making better life choices. But being so young and using that as a way to problem solve in the moment is so dangerous. So dangerous. Not just for women, for one, putting your hands on a man should not occur.
Correct.
Definitely vice versa.
Neither one.
That's not how you handle yourself, because I'm never, if I were to have a son, and you can speak from that perspective, you're not about to be just hitting my kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm teaching him to keep his hands to himself. Yes. You also need to do the same. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they go back and forth with that, that's crazy. Is she pregnant?
She is pregnant.
Be a thing.
Here's the other thing that I've noticed with them. She is pregnant, but it gets violent between them two. Like, he needed stitches on this TV show. Like, we already talked about that too. Yes. And so, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, what? But yeah, she is pregnant. And here's my other thing, and what I noticed in the television show is that I feel like Christiana is like a low-key addict. And with alcohol,
I was about to say she's an alcoholic.
Yes,
it seems.
It seems. This is only my, my observations as a psychologist.
Right, exactly, through that lens.
I have to throw that in there. Yeah. But I feel that way. It's because whenever they're out, now it's one thing to like drink before you go out on a concert, because like they're performing. But it's like I wake up and I drink this, and y'all going to the store.
Again, another way she's maybe coping with things that are deeper, or in
that
her life.
That trauma that she was saying. I think so too, because she did mention that she has like mom trauma, like her mom was on like drugs and stuff, so that addiction is in the bloodline. So it could be that too. So I mean, you're right. It could be the trauma that we talked about, and it could be she's coping with her situation. But I don't ever want to be in a situation where I feel like I have to cope to be with you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, I gotta do this just to see your face.
Just to bear your existence.
Exactly. Like that is not a relationship. I've been in relationships before to where I would physically get sick when I knew I was about to be with this person. for such a long time. Like, you know, in the same space. That's not like we were together, but in the same space for such a long time. Like, my body would be like turn tired. Like, it would physically react to what was happening.
Yeah, similarly, I would get anxious. My last serious relationship was like that. I remember pulling into the garage and literally just sitting there and being like, fuck, I'm about to go into this house.
Like, seriously.
Like, and having to endure that, because at a certain point it was like almost walking on eggshells. Like, you don't know what you're going to get, or you don't know how the interaction is going to go. That may become more explosive, or it may be cool or chill, but it was that unpredictability with it that made me so anxious. So I understand that, like, your body absorbs that relationship, and it shows in different ways. So for you, you know, you would get tired or like just drained,
would be physically ill, like you said, anxious. Like you'll go into the garage and just sit because you didn't know what person you were like, going to
Lord,
get.
give me the strength just to endure this.
Seriously, and I would feel that same way too. Like, I would be like, oh my gosh. So I would have a timetable in my head, right? And of course, you know, like we said, I have a timetable in my head. Okay, so he does this and he gets off at this time, and so like at 8 o'clock I'll see him. All right, is this done? Is this done? Is this done? Okay, are we ready to do this? Okay, are we ready to do that? Okay, is everything perfect? Okay, do you have a what's the word I'm looking for? Do you have a comment if something goes wrong?
Yeah,
like
a
literally
response.
having
Like rehearsing things,
conversations in my head.
Yeah.
So to protect me, so anytime you pop off, that I would be protecting my own feelings.
Yeah.
And that's not the way to live with any type of relationship, especially one who you feel like you know you love and you care about.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that one of the big things, even when we were talking about toxic love, like how does that originate? And I think for me personally, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, it was because I was in such a low place when entering this relationship. My feeling of worth or worthiness was so low that his treatment was almost like, well, that's not like what I deserve, but it's like I have to accommodate this because I have nothing else.
Yeah, no, so, sometimes you do feel that way. Like you feel like it's nobody else that fit. You feel like it's nobody else that may want you.
Yeah.
So this is all you have.
Yeah,
so you
it was that. It was like that loneliness feeling. Like I don't want to be by myself, so I'm going to endure this just to say that I have someone. I hate. For sure. I low key hate that shit, and I think that's not why I'm single now. But I would rather live my life in such a peaceful manner than have someone come in and disrupt it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in such this relationship, I was in such a low place. We talked about it before. My mother was sick at that time. For sure. Life was just different, and I was handling so many emotions. So when I initially got into this relationship, I was looking for an escape from what I was experiencing. And he provided that to me, but I think it was also manipulated too. That I'm in such a dark,
that you were in a vulnerable state.
Exactly.
And you want to know
took
something?
Advantage
Niggas
of that.
know when you be vulnerable.
Manipulatives.
Niggas be knowing. And I'm for real. Like, niggas be knowing, like, oh, okay, she, you know, like you said, my mother is ill. Things are moving too fast. Hard for me to catch up.
Yeah.
Niggas be knowing that shit.
All right, so let me do these things for her to win her in, and then once I got her, it's like, okay, little things, little arguments. It's like almost like testing the waters to see how either combative I would be, how much I would like endure it, and where my tolerance level was for bullshit. And I feel like at that time it was very, very low. So his treatment to me, it was like, damn, but he takes care of so many other things. I can take. You may not so much calling me on my name. It wasn't super like that, at least in the beginning. But it was like I can endure like you just saying some spiteful ass shit because you taking care of home, you paying bills, you taking care of me if I need something. So again, taking advantage of a very vulnerable state that I was in. And I think for me, what I had to remember, I was just talking to my oldest sister about this, is the necessity of wisdom in your life. Ooh, like you know when shit ain't right. Like God gives you this intuition. Like him calling me out my name, if he's putting his hands on you, or just being disrespectful, this shit ain't right. But it's like we can't tap into it for whatever reason because we're also benefiting from it. But I had the wisdom from family and also from friends, and it's like, damn, why didn't I tap into it? I knew this shit wasn't right. I knew it like a month or two in that this was not my person, but I was so eager to feel chosen or to feel adored or admired that I just put up with some reckless ass shit. And I just, again, giving yourself grace, knowing that I was not at my best, but still that toxicity could have been avoided if I had tapped into the wisdom that I have from myself or from others.
I feel you on that. I think the reason why I was in my situation similar is because of that loneliness, but also my sister was really ill at that time, and she had stopped. She even stopped going to work because she was really, really sick, and my father and stuff like that. And so also at that time, you felt like I felt like I needed like somebody there. Like, you know, he was kind, he was sweet, he was very kind, he was very sweet. Compliments all the time, like you said, doing a lot of those what do you say, those love bombing things in the beginning, right? Like you doing all these love bombing things, winning her over, just trying to do everything because, you know, I'm a single mom, I'm working hard, I'm doing all this. So he used to be like, I got it, but I didn't realize it was so much in the beginning that that's not necessarily how relationships go, right? And then like for me, my self-esteem at that moment or at that time was super low because I was trying to dig myself out of a different situation that was happening. So I did not understand what was necessarily going on. And even if my friends or my family told me that I should have left the situation alone, in my mind, I was thinking, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better.
It's almost like we trick ourselves.
Right. No, seriously. It's going to get better. Shit. He going to do better. I'm going to get him to get better because, you know,
oh my gosh,
I'm going to love him so much. I'm
going to love him over the trauma.
I'm going to love him so much to where he's going to get better. And if I love him this much, he going to love me right back. And that's not how shit works. No love is like necessarily like balanced, or I should say equal. You know, balance is different. No love between partners are like equal. You know, it's a balance. Sometimes you give more, give less, depending on where you are in the situation. Exactly. But we think about that, like, I'm gonna love him through this. It's gonna be okay. And then when he gets better, he gonna credit me for being there when, you know, he was at his lowest. But all the while I'm being boo-boo the fool, dumb as hell, not thinking that, you know what, it's not you that he's doing, like, this is not you, this is his personality, and he would do this to any other girl anyway. Exactly. And so I feel like a lot of times when, like I said, niggas smell that shit, they prey on that shit.
Yeah, they do.
And when I say they prey on that shit, and I'm not trying to say that they just out here looking, I don't know,
and scheming. I don't think it's necessarily purposeful for a lot of them, but the fact that they can sense that smell of like weakness is like that part I can control. I can win her over by doing all these grand things for her, and then my responses that come out after the fact, she can endure that because I hooked her in. You know what I'm saying? I got her, and because of this weak spot, oh baby, I got you, I protect you, I won't hurt you in that way, only to do those things. I think it's the craziest thing. So for me, I know I was always that person. I can heal this person through whatever they went through. And that was like, when I think about my relationships, baby, I don't know what type of nurse I was or like what I had in my head. But it's like I can heal this motherfucker through like mommy issues or like abandonment. Like I can be that saving grace. I'm not Captain Save-A-Ho. I'm not doing that shit. Like, and it left me depleted. So even in our last one, we talked about having our cup full. Like, I was drained because I was giving so much to show, like, I won't leave you like those people did. I won't abandon you. I'm a great woman. I'm a great mother. Let me show you what this looks like. And then
also, whenever you feel like you about to leave, I don't know about your situation, my mom, but whenever you feel like you about to leave, oh, but you know, it's this, right? Remember, they left me. Everybody left me.
That guilt trip.
That guilt trip. That's what I was about to say. That everybody left me, like you said.
Exactly.
Like I'm trying to be the
and
one.
Because we're compassionate, it's like you tugging at my heartstrings. No, don't want to be another person that has hurt you in that way. But it's like you're not finna just treat me anyway either.
Exactly.
So it takes a lot of healing on the woman's part or the man's part individually to know that they're worthy of so much more. And if that person wants to change, they're gonna have to do it for themselves. You can't force them into it. But for that Krishan and Blueface situation, like I don't even understand how the people around them are existing. Like to see that, knowing that she's pregnant, I pray that she's not indulging in any inappropriate behaviors as far as like drinking or smoking or doing those type of things. We know how that plays on your developmental milestones. But I hope that they have some people. I don't know. It seems like everybody around them is toxic too. So it's like this is just the world that they live in. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily a healthy one to admire. So I don't know, pray for them from a distance, but I can't even entertain myself with them.
You're right. I don't think that they have the people around them that are non-toxic.
Yeah.
And then what makes...
So that's normal. You know what I'm saying?
That's their norm, right? This is how our relationships work. But then again, when I think about my relationship with him, he was like, well, this is what happens, right? This is what I'm used to. This is accustomed to it. So me saying mean shit to you, people say mean shit to each other all the time and then they get over it. No, the fuck they don't.
It's so crazy.
Like, who the fuck taught you this shit?
When I tell you the last relationship I was in and the reason why I decided to leave, I remember his mama telling me, like, that's why you left? Like, I'm like, did he need to beat me? Like, what did you want me to
How about
like,
his mother told me the same thing?
He just called you a bitch. That's like, what the fuck?
How about his
that's
mama?
Why he act like that.
That's why he act like that, because his mama told me the same
so now,
thing.
Look at they fucking mamas, because if they mamas is trash, the niggas is trash. Like, that's crazy.
What did we say last week?
I think he said no.
Wait a minute,
I'm just saying. But if you don't have that
mommy
awareness,
and daddy, and that's what you said though last week.
Yes, but if you don't have that awareness, you think that is okay. So say what you said again.
No, with the mamas. No, you okay, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like with the mamas, that's how his mother was to him. She would be so nice and so kind, and she'd be like, you know what? You be really dealing with him, and you be really being with him and stuff like that. And I'm just so happy you here, and because we already know. And I'm like, what y'all know? Right. Like, this ain't fucking normal. Or she'll be like, well, I'm just so happy that this is your relationship. And again, she said some shit like that, like, y'all gonna work this out? Like, how? How we gonna work this out if he over here talking straight up shitty towards me? Yeah. But then again, not only straight up shitty towards me, it got real deep when you trying to bring my kid in this shit. And we don't play about...
We gonna show up.
We don't play about Bam around here. We don't play about Bam around here. And so, no. Yeah. That's one of the situations. But you're right, though. Think about that background, their toxic situation, on how they grew up. And unless you grow or unless you try to get better, you're going to repeat the same cycle.
Yeah. So what are those red flags to you that you're looking in your dating experiences now? Like, what are those things that's like, nope, not you. Because either from your past, using your wisdom to be able to pinpoint, okay, this may not be the healthiest relationship.
No, that's a good question. So I think one thing is relationships with parents, regardless on mother or father. And like, sometimes you may not have a good relationship with your parents, but are you healing from that though, right? So you're not going to try to
perpetuate that into relationships.
Exactly. So relationship with parents or even relationship with your caregiver. Because I know sometimes people be like, nah, my granny was the one who held it down. Yeah. Or my granddaddy was the one who held it down. Yeah. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at, and this is not trying to sound no gold digger or nothing, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm looking like, can you hold a job? Like, can you hold a fucking job? Yeah. And the reason why I say,
you know what I'm saying?
No, it is a low bar, but it's a lot of niggas out here that be like, oh, I only work on Tuesdays from 2 to 3 because I'm working on my health because I have to be at the gym by 5 o'clock. So I'm working on my health. So I'm only working from 2 to 3 on Tuesdays. It's a lot of truth to what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So, can you hold a job? Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, do you show up on time? Mm-hmm. Are you consistent? Are you disciplined enough to be at motherfucking work? Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at that. And if you don't have those three things, like, I mean, you know, everybody may be like, you know, I'm tired, so they may call off. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. But are you disciplined enough to keep it? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your motherfucking job. Yeah. Don't get motherfucking fired. Mm-hmm. Like, for real. Mm-hmm. So I guess those two. Do you have a relationship with your siblings, if you have siblings? Yeah. And then, like, friends. Yeah. Like, friendships. Like, do you have long-lasting friendships? And I'm not trying to say you got to have, like, a football team or even a basketball team. But do you have, like, friendships to where you're just, like, we are actually, you know, this is my homeboy. I got him no matter what. We hang tight. Like, do you have friendships? So I'm looking at that. And I guess, and if you don't have, you know, no friendships, bad relationships with your parents or caregiver, and then what else I say? No work ethic. And then, what else did I say? I think I forgot, but it'll come to me while we're still talking. But those are like 3 red flags, I would say, that are like, you know, no. What about you?
Definitely relationships with family or caregivers, like you said. I think that's really big. Most of my serious relationships, the men I've dealt with have not had
good relationship with their mamas.
And it showed up within the relationship where either I was then at fault because I'm a woman and they took out some of that hurts on me. Or they just didn't trust women. You know what I'm saying? We want a relationship, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't trust you because my mama was doing X, Y, and Z and didn't take care of me. So that abandonment. So there are things that I know people experience, but if you have dealt with it, like, what are you doing to work through it? How are you processing that as an adult? So your relationship with God, a lot of people like,
oh yes,
I don't know, like, for me, I'm trying to lead my life where he is at the forefront, right? So when I have conversations and your spirituality doesn't align, it's
with
like
what you're trying to build.
Like, when you're thinking about the relationship, I'm thinking about marriage. I'm thinking about having children. How are we going to coexist if we can't agree on that part or have differing beliefs, I guess? Yeah, I don't know how that works, but
no, you're right though, because like that's true.
But being able to see how people handle their bad times, so like
that's a good one too.
And that was one of the things we talked about earlier on. Is like, I want to see people in multiple seasons because everything seems grand in that honeymoon. What's that, 1 to 3
months,
4 months or whatever that you have with people, and like I want to see you at the end of the year, like when it's the holidays coming up. How are you handling your money? I want to see, like, how do you handle conflict with your friends? Like, because we're not always on the same page. Or are you blowing up at them? Or are you trying to gain understanding? So it's like, I want to see this person in a variety of situations.
You want to know something that I love what you're saying. I think that's awesome. But another one is, can you take accountability? Yeah, that's big. When you stated that about friendships and like how are you, you know, blowing up and how you all are, you know, trying to resolve your issues. Can you take accountability? Yeah,
because you're not perfect. So I'm not saying that I am either. I'm not saying I'm walking into this next relationship, friendship, or romantic, like saying that I'm going to always make the best decisions. But when I fuck up, my bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take that one on the chin.
Exactly.
But if you are blaming the other person, you know what I'm saying, for your actions, like, fuck, you did it. Like, were you not in a situation with me?
Were you not there?
Right, exactly. Where were you?
Where were you?
Exactly. So you look crazy. So it's like things like,
I'm Doja. This sleep. Yeah, we part of Just Posted Podcast, man. The best show on this network. Come on, check, girl.
Seriously, man. Just Posted. It's just me and Doja sitting back talking about what the fuck going on in the world and the streets.
We said labor of love. He said labor of love. I didn't say that shit. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, everybody coming to watch, though, man. We really appreciate y'all. Holla at y'all later.
Hey, man, this nigga just tall for no reason.
I'm gone.
And he do regular day jobs. Don't forget that.
that for sure. And I don't know, it's so many things I pay attention to now that like I wish I had that type of awareness before. But existing in toxicity is not where it's at. So again, my tolerance for that is very fucking low. So what we were talking about with this celebrity relationship and what they're showing, I pray that it's just for cameras. I pray it's for clicks and giggles and laughs. But like it's crazy like how people exist in that. Sounds like turmoil. Like,
how would you want to be? Why would you want to be in turmoil?
Why would you choose it?
And how can you exist in that situation?
And especially exist and bringing another life into it. Like, somebody call DFS now. I'll take
that little baby.
Right, put a baby
I'll
even
take
here.
the little baby.
Yeah.
But no, I feel you on that. And like accountability. And I think a lot of times in my situation, when I had with my previous, my ex-boyfriend, he struggled with accountability. Like we would talk and I would be calm, talking, whatever. And the minute that I would state like something, is bothering me or something, that happened in a relationship, he'd be like, well, I didn't do that. Or I did that because, I'm depressed and my dog ran away or some bullshit ass excuse. Like seriously, I didn't eat at 2:00 today or some shit like that. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going anywhere. I just need you to take accountability from like the pain you just caused me. We can talk shit out all day, but if you cannot take accountability for the shit that you said, and then sorry,
just saying sorry,
just say fucking sorry,
and then not do it again. It's one
and
thing
not
to say
do
sorry,
it again.
But don't do it again,
and not do it again. But that accountability piece, like that's another red flag too. Like if you can't take accountability, now I understand some things may hurt a little bit. Like damn, I did that, my bad. Yeah. But if you can't take accountability overall, that means that you cannot grow as a person, not just in like relationships, but just, like in career or like where you're trying to go further. And I really like that you said your relationship with God. I love that. And that's another thing, like, cause everybody relationship with God is different. Everybody's
journey.
Some is stronger, some may not be as strong, some is just weak, and it depends on what space are in your life to where it shifts. But I like that because my son and I, we went to go see the district judge about 2 years ago before he told me, the federal judge, not the district judge, excuse me, before he told me what he wants to be an attorney, the DA. And so he talked to him and everything. And he had told him, and I will never forget this, he was like, I made a lot of money when I ignored my kids and ignored my wife and things like that. He was just trying to tell them the demands of the job. But I made even more money when I put my kids in forefront, my wife, and I built my relationship with God. And I was like, you need to listen to that, because he was trying to explain to my son that you can make a lot of money coming out, but you're going to be heavy worked. But if you have your priorities straight and keeping your relationship with God straight, then you can even make more money. Yeah, and I really like that he told him that. Yeah. Because, he an OG. I think that man, I know he's retired now, but at that time he was like 82. So he was probably taking like maybe 1 or 2, 5 cases a year. Yeah.
So again, using that wisdom, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And being able to hear about relationships from other people who have either been in their marriages or relationships for a long standing of time. Because I think when you just sit back and pay attention to people, like, it's all about what you are willing to endure, what your tolerance is for certain situations. But you'll get the game for free. It's all there. You just have to pay attention to it and go into those relationships as a healed person, because you only perpetuate what it is that is within you. So you reside, you react, you affirm people from that level. You know what I'm saying?
No, I
so
get
if
what
you're
you're
hurt,
saying.
you hurt other people. You know what I'm saying? So
I get what you're saying. And I guess another thing, I don't necessarily heal people like all the way heal because I'm just thinking about me, right? And so I think about like my journey. Like I'm cool now, but like it may be another situation that happened to where I have to go back into my Rolodex and think about the stuff that I've learned, and then I may be down again. So I think as humanity evolve and as we evolve as people, we're constantly healing, we're constantly growing, and we're constantly, getting over a situation. Because a lot of times, let's just say, okay, in the beginning of marriage, right? Everybody say like it's so hard, and I'm not trying to say that it's not, but it's difficult times. But then when you talk to those couples who've been married for like 7, 8 years, they was like, yeah, in the beginning it was tough, but then we got new issues to go over, and we don't worry about the issues that we had in the beginning. We got different issues. So you're constantly healing
for sure.
from something else, but knowing that you're a healed individual is what I think that it is. So I agree with that. And then I think another thing is that when we think about toxic relationships, is that like you are what you attract, right? So
I feel like that
yes.
so much. So I've had 3 serious relationships in my life, and I feel like the one with Cameron's father, my daughter's father, I was young. I wasn't sure what I wanted, but I didn't know like anything about life. So I was looking for someone that looked good, he dressed good, all of these superficial things, not worried about like, you know what I'm saying?
Foundation.
Yeah, like I just
what
didn't
type
pay
of person he
attention to
is,
it.
personality.
I just knew that we kicked it. We went out.
He was
we had
fun.
fun. You know what I'm saying? It was just a different set of priorities, or like what I was looking for.
I like that priorities.
But when I was like in school, I knew what I wanted. I was very diligent about my goals. I attracted another person who was right along with it and was very encouraging and supportive. We just grew apart. But the last relationship, like I said, the mindset I was in, I just wanted to escape the hurt and the sadness. He provided that, but along with it, I think we talked about that too. I wanted so much of like a father figure for Cameron. He was a good dad. You know what I'm saying? It was so many great things. But it was like he was hurt. So like when we got into arguments, we didn't know how to do that together. We never talked about how like don't fucking yell at me.
Disagree nicely.
Yeah.
Nicely.
I didn't communicate to him that don't yell at me because Charles used to yell at me and that triggers me. But when he did that, it was like I would either shrink up because I was so sad and I just didn't have the energy to combat with him, or I would try to raise up. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we were just in it because that was the next step in life. We were in our 30s, and it was just not the healthiest thing at all. So not to say I'm taking anything away from that situation. He did have his fucking faults, but I know I played a role in that, and I think that's where you were talking about the accountability. Like I chose to stay. I chose to endure it because I didn't want people to be like, damn, she failed another relationship. It was just
we as
embarrassing.
women break our own hearts. And you just said that when you was continuously in that relationship when you know you should have left. I broke my own heart when I know I should have been left.
Yeah. And it's sad. Like, I don't know. Like, again, I learned from it. I know not to make certain mistakes or certain decisions again. But I just pray that I can pour enough of my experiences or my knowledge and wisdom into Cameron so she never has to endure that or feel that like that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of setting that example.
No, I like that. I like that in a number of ways. I think we as parents, we have to set examples on not only like how you present yourself to society, and that sounds so whatever, but anyway, on how you want to be, what it'll come to
portray.
Me. Yeah. Portray, thank you. And so we have that, but you also have to think about like how do you love somebody? Yeah. Relationship. Like how do you give them safe romantic love? And I think a lot of times we as single parents, we want to show them that because they emulate what we do. But in my situation, it was a bit different. So like we would have arguments and we would have our, not so much physical, but we would have our big arguments like in a car, outside, in the house when he wasn't there. Yeah. Or like just somewhere where he wasn't, where he wasn't present. So he wasn't necessarily seeing arguments, but he could possibly feel the energy, like, he's still here and we not getting along. And it was a lot of times he would be like, you can cut the tension with a knife. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the room, because it would be so heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so, and I didn't want my son to realize that that's how relationships are supposed to be. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to get in a relationship and y'all ain't never going to argue or y'all ain't never going to disagree. It's just a safe way to do it. It's a safe way to argue. It's a safe way to communicate your feelings properly, to where you're not hurting the other one's feelings intentionally. And the reason why I said intentionally, because we did not do that. Because a lot of times, going back to when I said, I think Krishan, I think hers is, like reactionary. I don't think so. Going back to my situation, it was a lot of reaction to what the shit he used to tell me. So, and again, like you said, some things you don't say because yours is yelling, mine is talking bad. Like, don't say mean shit to me because you don't know what you gonna get. Either I will shrivel up or I'm gonna go at you, and if I go at you, run. So it's like one of those situations. So, but again, I think of myself in that relationship going towards accountability. I don't think I liked myself reacting that way. Like, I didn't like being that way. You see what I'm saying? Like, why I gotta argue with you or why I gotta talk to you and I gotta like get in my masculine energy or like make you fear me so you can listen to me. I ain't like that about myself. And so I guess that's another thing, that when you in toxic love, it's a lot of people, a lot of parts of you that show that you don't know that they're there, and then you don't like.
Exactly. Yeah. So moving forward, what do you think that you'll be doing to make sure that you don't, put yourself in that type of relationship?
Situation. Yeah. So again, those red flags that we're looking out. So of course I'm taking more, time into looking at those. Past wisdom. I mean, past relationships, wisdom I've learned from them. And then not only that, but what I said before, what I'm looking for. And if you don't have these bases, remember we just talking about bases. If you don't meet some of the qualifications, then it's just not going to work.
Exactly.
It's not going to work. And I think that some situations at times may be toxic, but I don't want like toxic love.
Yeah. I don't want to love that hurts.
Yes. What about you?
I think going into it, I guess it's very selfish, because it's like, what work do I need to do for myself? Because I feel like it is very much that sense of attraction. Like, if I'm healed, I'm whole, I love myself, then I will attract someone who sees that and wants to
pour into that,
that values that. So I think it's very important to look at yourself and heal those areas. We talk about it all the time, and it sounds like very cliche or redundant, but it's so important, because then your tolerance is low for BS. You're not going to stay somewhere where you don't feel valued or feel worthy. So definitely having certain standards, but for me, I have a standard for myself, and because of that, I won't even entertain something that looks crazy. Not to say that like you said, after some time, things won't just show themselves, but I know like there are certain questions to ask, or I'm looking at things from a different lens than I was before, because before it was very superficial. I was just going for someone that looked nice.
No, I think like in the beginning, I think when you are younger, you are for superficial, right? Like nice, had a job, nice car.
You got it wasn't even just nice. It was like, we like bad boys, so it was like, I don't know.
That adrenaline.
Yeah, like it was
that
like
they
a
give
thrill.
you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he treat y'all like shit, but he love me.
Like the asshole to everybody else, but he ain't the asshole to you.
He ain't. He's sweet and he's kind. But I'm not doing that shit. I'm not. I can't even reside in that space. But yeah, toxicity. I mean, we know so many relationships that are existing internet, and it's just something I don't want to emulate at all, or even emulate, not just be in it for myself, but show that to my daughter if that's what love is. I refuse.
I agree with you on that. And then the last thing about toxicity is the safety issue, right? Because a lot of times you be in toxic situations. And remember I said earlier, like, I'm going to try to heal him. I'm going to love him through it. I'm going to do whatever I can.
Perfect.
Exactly. But, I was younger. I didn't know. And so, like,
you ain't by yourself. Shit.
but that can turn into, when I'm gone, how dare you leave me? How dare you leave me? You were supposed to smell all of my bullshit all the time. And that's a lot of times, and I feel so heartbroken a lot of times when there's a lot of women that be in these relationships and they finally get a chance to leave. And then all of a sudden you hear on the news, he beat her, he murdered her, he killed the kids. You hear a lot of those type of situations, but the situation itself was toxic, but family and friends told you to get out of it, but you couldn't get out of it.
You couldn't see past that relationship.
Exactly.
And, I mean, that happens for a lot of reasons. If you become dependent on that person, so it's like, if I leave, I have nothing. Or especially if you have kids, I can't just be out here willy-nilly. Like, this person is providing shelter, all of these things that accommodate my life. But it's like, I don't know, I think you just have to choose yourself in a safe way. So you didn't just see him being verbally, physically abusive after 10 years. You saw that shit early on.
You want to know something? And I don't mean to cut you off, but you're so right. And it just came to my mind. The way he used to talk to his mother in the beginning of the relationship, I didn't pay no attention to it. But then as we continue, it's the same way he used to talk to me. So when you had mentioned that brush, this just brought up.
Oh yeah, and you can see it. So that's why I'm like, you have to go into things with your eyes wide open. You know what I'm saying? Not just picking and choosing the things that you want to see, because you want someone who loves you, takes care of you, can be a good role model for your child, all of these things. But how are they working in life around you? And you have to just be mindful of those little things too.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's like the signs were there. It was right there in front of your face. And I think one of the big things I
don't ignore
do
them.
now is like, God, is this for me? And Lord, if it's not, please take it away. And I don't just say take it away because it may be painful. Like, take it away peacefully. Right. Don't allow it to hurt, because God shows you. He gives you signs. And like, I know with Cameron's father, I should have left well before she came. Thank God for her. But there were signs there prior to her coming, and it was only after that, after she was born, I was like, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't it. But it's like God tried to show me. But we were compatible because we were bonding over trauma or bonding over hurt. And at a certain point, I was no longer in that season my life, but he was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, am I going to carry you and endure this, or am I going to let you go?
That trauma bond.
To let it go. So I feel like, I'm not sure with Blueface and Krishan what he has experienced in his life, but maybe it is they are bonding over hurts, bonding over some type of trauma. So their broken hearts feel like they're like matching up with each other. But at a certain point, somebody's gonna be like, this ain't it. So are you gonna continue walking this journey of healing with me, or the latter? So I don't know. I pray for them, because that's insane.
That's very insane. But I agree with you on that. Like, I think with my relationships, it was a lot of trauma bonding, because at that time of my life, that's what it was, right? Like, we bonded over those things. But as you stated, like, I'm not there no more.
Yeah.
And I've grown. And I have tools that I pray for to help me, grow, to help me be more healthy.
I remember one thing in particular. We're in this relationship, and I went and got baptized. I was pregnant with Cameron. I think I was like 4 to 6 months, and he didn't even show up to my baptism. I was like,
that is the most important thing with your walk with God.
Yes, for sure. So knowing that I love this person. Obviously, we are having a child together, and where we used to do some crazy shit, it's like now it's like, okay, I'm trying to get my life better. I have this baby that's going to be very dependent on me, and she needs me to be very present. So for me, that was like my faith journey. I needed to get right with God. But you couldn't even be there to support or just be present through that. And then I went back to school, and it was like, why are you going back to school? It's like, what?
Can I tell
you?
you?
Not like, you not.
So I got
like,
two
that's crazy.
situations because that is crazy. So like the going back to school part right here. So I was going back to school, and a lot of my, hair cell peoples, y'all know.
Okay.
Mark used to be in class with me. So straight up, he used to be in class with me, and so they know that. And so, but he used to be like, "Yeah, I'm dropping you off at school, so don't no nigga holler at you while you have your son." And I used to be like, whatever. But that didn't happen because, niggas gon' nigga. So
that didn't stop him.
That didn't stop him. Niggas gon' nigga.
Yeah.
So that's one situation, just like the school. Like, I don't even know why you doing this. And plus, I'm not even going to keep him while I'm running the streets anyway.
Right.
And then the second thing is, he didn't even go to my recent ex. He didn't even go to my master's graduation. He purposely did not go. He purposely did not go because he said, I just don't feel like I need to be there.
That's crazy. But he was right there with you going, like, he didn't arguing with you, being present in that moment, but to see you elevate or better yourself, it's like they can't get the wings to fly with you in that moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, people need to evolve. We need to grow. We need to be better. But we want someone that is suitable to journey that with me. You know what I'm saying? And for those people, it's like, it's clear signs, when they're not capable of doing that. And it's like, you have to cut ties.
That's true.
So love you from a distance, you know what I'm saying? But I got to do what's best for me. And being in this space is not it.
That's so true. And again, don't ignore those flags. We just mentioned it. We ignored
whatever that
them.
is for you. Yeah.
Don't ignore them. We ignored them, and I admitted it. I should have left a long time ago, but I stayed, especially after that graduation. But I stayed, and so like I ignored a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I have enough wisdom. And what I want, see, that's another thing. I know what I want now, and I have non-negotiables now. And so I think at that time, my non-negotiables were not non-negotiables.
Yeah, they weren't firm.
They were right, not firm. Shaky. So yeah. So what are your green flags though?
Well, there's so many. How much time do we have? It depends on what part you're asking about.
Okay, so in the beginning, let's just talk about the beginning, because remember I said in my beginning I was getting love bombed, right? And so let's talk about your beginning green flags.
I'm not gonna lie, there has to be some type of attraction. That's what we see. So he got to look nice, presentable. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm like chivalry, like opening car doors, opening doors to buildings, you know what I'm saying? Allowing, you know what? I'm very much old school, so I'm cool with allowing you to lead and not fall back.
Me too.
But, I don't know, like, I love all of this very stereotypical manly things.
Same.
I'm a daddy's girl, so daddy did a lot of stuff and provided a lot. So those things I am attracted to. But again, you have to be able to discern, like, is this in order to control, or is it because this person values
who he is?
Yeah, exactly.
This is their personality.
So it's like, again, looking at the relationship with their mom, it's like, I care and I love my mom, and she raised me in a certain way, the same way you're doing for Bam. It's like, she's taught me that to cater to a woman in a certain way. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, I love that. And I have had men in my life that do that for me, and it's such an amazing feeling. I guess that's where we feel like that soft air, where I don't have to be on. I could just reside
and relax
in this. Yeah, like
just be.
Exactly. And I love a confidence, like, and that don't mean cockiness or being an asshole, but like just confident in who they are and their ability to lead. That means, and show up in different ways. But it's like an aura that a guy has, that I'm very much drawn into. And just the way that he speaks over life, or if we're just out, is he calling people out of their names, or like just that type of interaction. You have to really like pay attention attention to things like that.
You
and
do.
I think it's very important to, again, have your eyes wide open and to pay attention to how they're treating the people around you. And I think that then that'll be a testament to how they then treat themselves and you. So
yeah. I agree with you on all of those. I'm just going to add being kind.
Oh, of course.
And I like, what's the word? It feels boring. And the reason why I say it feels boring, because remember we said it was an adrenaline rush in the beginning, right? I don't want that. Like it's one thing to like, you know, like we doing something fun together. So that's an adrenaline rush. But I don't want to, I need to calm down. I don't want that.
Go home and go watch a movie. Shit.
So I want that it feels boring at first. Because a lot of times when you're in that fight or flight, and you get something that's good, it's going to feel so different to where you recognize it as being boring. But it's not necessarily boring. It's just your body is not in fight or flight.
Yeah, it's relaxed.
It's relaxed. So yeah, I agree with all of those. I would say
I agree
those.
with yours too.
Yeah. But yeah, all right, what about y'all in toxic love? I mean, you know, Krishan and Blueface. We already know, like, my heart goes out to them. And, baby, that's not love.
On either side, not just for him or for her, like, both of y'all. That ain't love. That's not love. Love doesn't hurt.
It doesn't. So you can find us at Womanology Podcast on Instagram. You can find me at Rhea_Dakota_ed.s. That album about to drop soon.
And right. They're going to be calling you out. But yes, I'm Chloe, and you can find me at yours truly _Chloe with a C, not a K. And yeah, we're going to make this more consistent. I'm on it. I'm back on it. We're going to do this consistently and get this content out. Because we like having conversations with y'all. It's it's like family. It's like my homegirl, my homeboy out there that we're talking to. So it feels comfortable. I feel more relaxed. I had somebody be like, we're so like into our profession that we do like this a whole lot. We nod our heads. Okay, so I had at least like 2 people be like, I see you on the, like, when they see the visual, like,
that's
YouTube,
so
whatever,
funny.
they be like, y'all both be going like this. And it's like, it's because we're listening and we're engaged.
We're active listening.
So in order for me to show that I'm listening to you and not somewhere else, it's like I'm confirming it through my head now. So I hope this episode I was calmer because I really tried.
I know I was shaking away.
You're stupid. But no, we're taking all of the feedback. Like,
thank you.
Yes, we definitely and are listening.
Yes.
But we love these moments where we could be transparent and shed some light or give some wisdom as well, because everyone could benefit from it.
That's true. And we've been through it.
Yes, we have.
We professional women, but we've been through it now.
Unfortunately. Lord.
So yeah, it's straight up wisdom.
It is.
All right, y'all.
See ya.
Bye.